Barber Cause Success with your boy here, Jordan Barr. No Craig or am I today? They're out on a teachers meeting. But today we're gonna be talking about my first week in the barbershop. Hopefully I'll give y'all some things y'all can take back and something that y'all help y'all out later on. But but we're gonna talk about, let's say, trying to remember my first day. I can't really remember my first day. Well, I know that my first day, well, as soon as I got there, um, it was kind of, I felt a little overwhelmed, but I was excited at the same time. I was very excited because I knew this is something I always wanted to do. I knew I was prepared for it, but the only thing that I knew in my mind that I felt like really got to me the first day was how fast everybody was compared to me when I got into the barbershop. Like, because obviously me in barber school, I always took my time. I was there like, you can ask anybody at Crown Cuts of Bristol that I take at least an hour and a half, 2 hours, anywhere from hour and a half, 2 hours to on a haircut. And that's just because I wanted to, perfect my craft. I didn't really care about being rushed. Like, I didn't care about the speed. And I mean, in due time, it's going to come to you eventually. So, I mean, I always took my time. I always try to give everybody the best haircut I could possibly give them. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what's really is going to bring you back your clientele is knowing that you giving your all to that haircut or for them or the experience. So, um, so I feel like as long as you take your time, really show them that you have a love, a passion for what you're doing, and really want to hook them up with a good haircut. I feel like there's no way you won't build your clientele up very fast. I mean, but you still have some people that want to be in and out of the chair in 25, 30 minutes, and that's fine too. But there's people for them. I mean, if they can't really sit there and respect that you're taking your time on the hair and trying to give them the best possible haircut you can give them, then I mean, I don't think that's the best client for you, obviously. But I mean, there's fast barbers, there's people that can go fast barbers, there's people that are more detailed in their work. So me, I'm definitely a more detailed barber. I don't care about the speed. Usually I think my appointments now are like I take maybe 45, 45 minutes to an hour, an hour 15, if anything, at the most. And that's a comfortable time for me now because now that I've been in the shop for almost almost a year, it's been like 8, 9 months now. But I feel like I've definitely gotten a lot faster. So with repetition, but at the same time, I feel like I've only grown in the process. Like I don't feel like I've stayed stagnant in the same position ever since I got in there because I've taken my time and I've tried out um, new face systems, tried out different ways of cutting the hair, trying different styles of haircuts, um, just not being scared to, you know, bring in new ways to try to get better. That's all it is. I'm not scared to mess up anymore because I know even if I do mess up, that I know how to fix it. And the reason why I know how to fix it is because I took my time and learned the best way possible to do everything. So even if I do mess up, I already know off the top of my man, I'm okay. I can do this to, you know, maybe help it fade out, look a little bit better, or take the fade up higher to, blend in that little section. It might have been a little bit darker because I did a different face system. But at the end of the day, um, it's just, I mean, being patient with it, man. You can't rush the process. You can't rush the process. Um, let's see. Trying to think of some good gems for y'all. I'm trying to think. Um, oh yeah, when usually after every haircut I did, I don't know about the barbershop that y'all are going to, but Jonathan, my barbershop owner, gave us all 150 cards, business cards, with our Instagram, our number, and our name on it, and along with the whatever app that you was going to use for appointments. And I gave one to everybody that I cut for at least. I try to give one to everybody, like everybody that I cut. And some people, they might not take it, and then just, they say they'll remember your name or whatever. But just, give them your card, and so that they have that option later on about, oh man, I like the way he cut my hair. I remember his name, so I'll bring out this card. Bring out the card out of their wallet. They're gonna call you, or they're gonna set up an appointment on the. I use the Cut app, so usually they set the appointment on the Cut app, and then I'll see him again. But trying to build that clientele as early as possible. Usually you want to try to build that really in school, because in school that's really when I got most of my clientele. Like by the time I got out of school, I was cutting. I felt like I was cutting almost half of Bristol, and which is, I mean, I knew that when I was in there, I was thinking, I was like, I gotta have a good clientele as soon as I get out of here, because I want to be able to make this my main job, because I was working at Zaxby's at the same time. So, and I was so ready to leave Zaxby's, but I loved everybody at Zaxby's. Those are my guys. All of them. I cut everybody there. Everybody that works at Zaxby's or did work or used to work at Zaxby's, and now I still get people from Zaxby's because people you still refer to me, and word of mouth is very important also. But also set yourself like some goals, like saying that you want to have this. You want to say that you work at a job and you're like, I'm going to try to cut everybody in here, or at least try to work them in, or talk to them, or kind of trying to like persuade them, and they let you cut their hair, and that'll help you out a lot too. But trying to think. Let's see. Sorry guys, y'all gotta bear with me. It's kind of hard to come up with a solo podcast, especially because I like having people's opinions and stuff thrown at me. But you know, um, it's definitely experience though. Let's see. Okay. Um, when you're there, go by and like go talk to all the other workers. Like talk to them and see if there's anything that you can take from them that you can use for yourself that would help you. Then you might see somebody that's cutting some hair texture that you're having a really hard time with, and you can go up and talk to them and be like, yo man, how do you make it look like that? What do you do? What's your ways of making that haircut look like that? Like, is there anything that you could, tell me to help me out? Or you can just watch them, simply just by watching them, kind of that'll help out a lot too. Because I knew, especially, I still think my black, African American haircuts aren't as good as I think they need to be. Because I've always had a problem with understanding the hair sometimes, which everybody says is easier. I mean, it is easier, but I don't care about how easy it is. I just want it to get as blurry as possible. I want that job to look crispy. I want it to be clean. I want it to be just set myself apart. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out different ways to. I think my problem was going against the grain or going with the grain on black people's hair. So I didn't really know how to utilize that as in a good way. So I kind of never really understood it, but I always see people do it, and I was like, I don't understand how they make their haircuts look so smooth. Like the transition looks so smooth. And I know it's messy. It's like, man, it's just, you just got to go with the grain. I'm like, okay, so what do I do? Like when I go with the grain, like a one, I'll go all the way down to a open or half guard. I'll use all my guards and just work a way down. And then, I mean, yeah, stuff like that. I mean, I've learned over time to, in order to get them blends like that, you have to really spread out them fades on black people hair. And some, have really tight curls. So you have to use a comb. You have to use a comb and going with the grain on black people hair. That's what number one thing I've learned about black people hair. But as far as white people hair, or I mean anybody's hair that's not black, it's kind of, I feel like I'm a little bit better towards the cutting white people's hair than I am black people hair, because I cut a lot more white people than black people. But I mean, that's just in the area I am, that's not a bad thing. I enjoy all textures of hair. I know how to cut all textures of hair. I just feel like some I need to work more on, but you know, it's just all about how you get in the shop, which is another thing when you're looking into working at a shop. Diversity is very important. The walking traffic, because that's going to determine how much you can kind of calculate or the person that owns it could tell you what days are the busiest days. Because that's off my train of thought.
Joe, you want me to ask you some questions?
Possibly.
Hey, Jordan.
What's up? What's up?
You hear me all right?
Yeah.
So I got a question for you with this topic.
Yeah.
So for people that, this is Mitch, the producer, by the way. I'm not on camera.
This is our good old boy Mitch, man. He's the one behind the scenes.
I'm sitting in the corner, the same room as Jordan. So, so coming from someone that doesn't know much about barbering, other than what I've learned from this podcast, producing it, I guess a question I have kind of goes along with this topic. For someone that is getting close to being done with their studies with barber
school.
Barber school, what are some tips that you have for them going into the shop? Let's say they found a job. What are some things that you would have liked to know before getting in there?
Well, it's actually like one of them that I just got you talking about.
Yeah,
is knowing a good barbershop, because you don't want to go to a good a barbershop that doesn't have business.
Yeah,
like if they don't get it's one of those shops that has a bad rating, or not everybody in there is kind of just doesn't care.
So maybe look up some reviews.
Yeah, you want to go to a good shop, go to a couple shops.
Mm-hmm.
I went to at least 3. I was Craig's, and then I actually was going to talk to JC Mel, and then there was Jonathan's, which was at home.
Right.
And then I've been to all 3 of them,
mm-hmm.
and I liked every single one of them. But the thing that really got to me was I knew that most of my clientele was going to be in Bristol,
mm-hmm.
and we don't have a lot of. I'm not gonna say like a but we don't have a lot of good barbers in Bristol. There's not too many. We have our shop. Honestly, where I work at is probably one of the best in our area.
Right.
So it's common sense to stay around where your home is, where there's people and there's people that know you. It'd be common sense to just So once you cut one of your friends, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, who cut your hair?" He's like, "It's Jordan." He's like, "Oh, Jordan cuts hair."
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. So anything that's. If you want to move, and if you're in a small area and you want to move to a bigger area, that's more. That's understandable too.
Yeah.
But you can do the same thing in your own town, as well as move to a different area. But it's just how you set yourself apart. That's how it's gonna bring you in more people, because you're gonna be bringing in people from different areas. If you're a better cutter than some of these other people, and they'll be like, "Oh man, he's nice. I'm gonna drive 30 minutes just to come, cut his hair." And he might live in Johnson City or Kingsport.
Right.
So that's one thing that I always made sure I wanted to work in a nice barbershop.
Right.
And I feel like that's what most barbers want. They want a nice barbershop, nice environment, nice people they can work with. People that want to see them succeed, know. And I'm trying to think of some more things. A lot of stuff is I feel like I knew.
Yeah.
Maybe I always thought I'd have a hard problem, a really bad time at making rent payment,
right,
or booth rent.
That was a question I was going to ask, is how does that go into the decision?
I was terrified.
Yeah,
because he was like, I was like, "How much is booth rent?" He was like, $600 a month.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Oh man." I was like, "I don't know if I can do that." He said, "No." He said, "You can do it. I promise."
Uh-huh.
He said, "You'll at least make I think they said the lowest you'll make in a day is at least 150.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay. I was like, I mean, I didn't really
So
believe it until it happened.
4 days theoretically would cover that.
Cover that. We
then,
pay him
yeah.
$150 a week.
Okay.
So we make that in a day. The rest of the week, you don't have to worry about paying it.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. It's important for the walk-in rate. If you got a slow shop and you got 600, you might make cut 4 people, and an amount of charging. He charges 16 for walk-ins.
Mhm.
So I mean, if you're cutting 4 people and 4 or 3 people,
Yeah.
because I mean, you're going to be pretty slow when you first get in there, probably,
Mhm.
and you're just going to be kind of hard to make that payment. So
Yeah.
I mean, figuring out is a good place that has a good walk-in rate, and first off, the most likely going to work the payment out with you when you
Mhm.
first get there, because I mean, the first month we didn't have to pay for our first month there,
Right.
so it's kind of the person that you're working for. I'm sure they will help you out,
Mhm.
or if they don't, I mean, that's kind of it's kind of
go to a different shop.
Yeah, probably should go to a different shop. But
so that's a good thing to know for people that are just getting their feet wet and getting out into the real world.
That's definitely one of the things I was most terrified of, because he was like, "No, man," he said he's just getting here, and then he said, "Just do your thing, take your time, try to give people the best possible cut you can give them, and eventually the speed will come. Don't worry about trying to rush, because you're just gonna start messing people's heads up."
Right.
So I mean, it's just, you gotta feel comfortable and just take your time, man. And eventually it's all gonna unfold.
Mhm.
And I mean, if anything, if you just got talk to the person that you're with, they'll work something out with you. So it's just all about the you just gotta do your research on the shops. That's all it really is. And then
so maybe having a plan, knowing what you want, kind of I guess not necessarily knowing what you want, but knowing the area that you're wanting to work in, would help too.
If you I feel like, because I've always thought I've always wanted to move to a different area.
Yeah. Like a bigger city. Yeah.
Yeah, and just more connections, more people you can meet. But at the same time, I feel like I got something good going here, but it's really, I feel like I can learn so much more at being in different places.
Right.
I don't know. It's just,
which you are going out to California to do.
That's going to be dope. I'm excited for that. And that's another thing. I feel like I persuade everybody that goes on a trip anywhere, try to find a dope barber or something that's you might have met on Instagram, or somebody that you think is real nice. You might need to go talk to them and see, pick their brain a little bit, see what they do, what things have made them successful. I mean, it'll help you kind of open your eyes a little bit too. So just thinking that, and not everybody's going through the same thing as you did, so I mean, that'll help out a lot too as well.
Right. I think just to add 10 cents to what you said is about the area. One thing that, as an entrepreneur myself, because barbering is basically entrepreneurship. You're
I mean, you can
self-made.
You're self-made. You can you open your own shop, whatever you want to do.
And even just renting out, a space in a barbershop is a form of entrepreneurship. You know, just different levels. But this area, the Tri-Cities area of Tennessee, is really a really good place to be for growth.
Because it's definitely on a steady, incline.
Yeah.
But
get what you're saying with, wanting to have an experience maybe in a bigger city where you can learn. There's going to be more people. So there's going to be more barbers. There's going to be more people to learn from. There's going to be people doing things differently than, I mean, you're going to have to stand out. That's the thing with being in a big city is it's more saturated with talent.
Yeah.
So they have to find new ways to stand out and new ways to, but again, living in an area it's not oversaturated.
Come back. I feel that's what I'm saying. I'm going to California.
Yeah.
And doing classes like that and learning stuff from some of the best people in the world, and then bringing it back and,
right
to a place where it doesn't really have stuff like that. That's what's really going to make you stand out.
Yeah.
Obviously. But
I think that's a great thing to do. And I think that's a really cool thing to look at when you're getting to that ending point of school, finding opportunities like that to go out,
because there's not
different places.
There's not a lot of opportunities. I mean, I remember I think it was like a couple months ago. I think it was 2 or 3 months in a barber school
Mhm.
in barbershop, and I went to JCML and he brought one of my favorite barbers. Uh, what's his name? Trevor Moots.
Okay.
Taylor Fade, and I tell you, Taylor Fade is so hard, man. This dude has some of the blurriest fades I've ever seen in my life, and it's not even just his fades. He knows how to do everything. I'm talking about sectioning the hair, block graduation, cross graduation, all that, like all the difficult stuff, like, and it just makes it look so easy. And I remember him telling me that it's not even about really the skills; it's really how if you know how to use your implements, your tools and implements. Because some people they'll get stuff and don't really know what it's for. There's certain scissors made for certain things, so it's kind of like blended shears. He showed me blended shears, chunking shears, and I didn't know that blended shear was used to help make the fades look even blurrier. And that's something I learned, and I use that in my haircuts now, and it made my haircuts look even better than what they were before.
Right.
So I mean, just taking small things from like that and taking classes, which is cool that JCML did that because we don't get a lot of stuff like that around here, and we need more of that. More people that are really dedicated to the craft and like that have a passion for it. I really want to show off, or not really show off, but teach people their skills and help them out. We need more like that, and that's something I feel like I want to start bringing to eventually.
Yeah.
I want to open up my own barbershop and bring in people from across the world and just have classes for free. I ain't even really gonna charge. I won't even charge it for it, just because I feel like that's something that around here we really need. So I think that'd be dope.
Something to kind of bring an extra flair to the business. Really, is what you have in mind. Yeah.
But it's this industry is really is just amazing, man. For real, is sometimes I really feel sad for the people that can't really grasp this industry as much as some people do.
Yeah,
because they don't really get the whole experience.
What is it about the industry that you like so much? What when you say it's amazing, what are you?
The art of it, just see. That's the thing with me. I liked art a lot.
Yeah.
So I took advanced art classes in school. So I liked being able to express yourself through things other than like just like music. Music is art. You express your way through music. I mean, drawing, painting. I mean, anything. Just I feel like the same thing with haircuts.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just a way to express yourself, your style. I mean,
it really barbering really, from what I've learned from you guys, is it really is a creative career.
Yeah, and it's
where people look at it more like a trade, like
it's like just like cutting hair. He's like, oh, he just cuts hair. Right. No, it's more than just cutting hair. But some people that's what I'm saying. Some people just think of it as just cutting hair.
Right.
And it's way more than just cutting hair.
Right.
And it's just. I mean,
do you think it's getting better? Do you think there's more of an appreciation now?
I feel like there is.
Okay.
I hope there is, but I feel like there is.
From an outsider, I would say I think there is. I think just from what I've seen in Johnson City, and the barbershops opening up and the different. I mean, you go into one of those places and it's a vibe.
That's usually when you feel. That's automatically what you feel as soon as you get in there.
Right.
It's usually what type of music they're playing.
Right.
Or if it's just like people staring at you, you're like, oh man, I need to get out of here probably.
Right.
Because I don't think they want to be in here, so I think I'm gonna leave. But yeah, man, it's just because my brother cuts hair too, and he's not. I've been wanting to go to barber school for years, and he's been cutting since he's 18. And he's 30 now.
Okay.
But he's just like, man, I just don't. He said, I just don't feel like cutting behind the chair for the rest of my life. And I said, there's more than cutting hair. There's more to barbering than just cutting hair.
Right.
And I really want to take him to a hair show or like something like that so he can see it. You have to see it to believe it. Because when I first went to my first barber show, bro, I was like, I was crazy. I was like, whoa, this junk's crazy. I was seeing like all the haircuts they were doing, and I was like, bro, I want to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it just inspires you to a whole different level, and it's amazing. Yeah, I really love it. As I'm so blessed to be in such an amazing industry, and that suits me to the T, I think.
Yeah.
Especially.
So being, in this location, we've talked about just a little bit about it not being a huge metropolitan area. There's not a lot of population here. It's not big cities. but there's still opportunity to be a barber and to succeed. How do you test? How do you go about like testing new things in an area like this? Like, what would be some things you could do? I don't know if that's a very good question, but it's
No, I'm trying to.
because you're talking about it as an art,
Mhm.
and a lot of times art is experimentation and in trying new things. It's like, how do you incorporate that in an area that's not necessarily, that might not be as open to it as
As
other
far as
places?
like how it is, like places that are really like California is really, obviously everything down there is just wicked and
Yeah.
all about style and all that. Like which around
And
here
you
we're all
can
about
kind of,
country music.
yeah.
So
And you could kind of,
yeah,
in California, you might, in like the bigger cities, you might be able to get away with, talking to someone, be like, hey, can I try this today?
yeah,
And you maybe show them a picture of something you want to practice on them. Whereas maybe it's not as big of a thing here.
yeah. Because I showed a lot of people, or a lot of people in Bristol, of like the crop haircut, which is a European type
Yeah.
hairstyle,
Mhm.
and there. I've kind of brought it towards that way because everybody was like, yeah, I just like my hair messy on top
Mhm.
with the fade on it. So I was like, okay. So I'll show them a picture of a crop,
Mhm.
and they're like, yeah, we can do that. I mean, usually, and then after I do it, and they're like, wow, this jokes look crazy. I never had it faded like that, or
Right.
like, what I'm saying. So it's kind of just working in different like haircuts that that you want to try, but also meeting the customer's expectations.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
And also probably knowing what is in this area,
yeah,
because it's going to be different
mhm,
everywhere you go.
yeah, because
What's popular, and then finding things that compare to it, and maybe kind of evolving it in a slow pace, I guess, from what is already current.
because a lot of people they'll bring in their phone and show me TikTok videos.
Yeah.
And then it must be TikTok videos, and most of them are from California and other places, and they're like, I want this.
Right.
And they knowing that they never had a barber that can actually do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's what. And then after you give them that haircut, they'll come back with even more crazy stuff every time. They're like, or they'll say, yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
I've had so many people tell me, I'm like, you do whatever you want. I don't care what you do, just make it look nice.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, bet. And so I bet at first you have to gain their trust.
Right.
And obviously, and showing them that you can do stuff like that, types of haircuts like that. And there's a lot of people that'll come in and they'll say that they want, I don't know, I guess it's just like kids nowadays, they always want to leave their hair really long on the front. I don't mind that, but it's just like they won't want you to blend it, and it looks so bad. And I'm like, but I'm gonna give them what they want, so I mean that's okay. But it's just I'll be getting aggravated sometimes because I'm like, man, this haircut looks like the fade looks so good. Why don't you just let me touch the top like just a little bit? It don't have to be that much, just like half an inch or something.
Right.
But they're like, no, just leave it, and just do whatever they want with their front. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's whatever they want. I gotta please my customers. So
kids,
very.
Well, that's cool. I think those are all really, when you first come out of school, it can be kind of like a slap in the face when it's like now you're in the shop. Now you still have I think you still, in barbering, you probably still have a good mentoring system with whoever owns the shop and the people around you. They'll help you out with things that you need, and kind of as you settle into a job.
I just feel like it's more about how you personally personally set yourself up before you leave.
Right.
Are you prepared? Do you feel like you're prepared?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you tried all the things that you needed to try while you was in there? Because once you get out of school, it's just like you're on your own after that. Because there ain't no cushion for you after that. So I mean, it's either try everything that you want to try in school and know what you want to do, so before you get out, instead of just, once you get out, you're like, man, I don't even know how to do this, and I didn't even really try it in school. Now I'm gonna try to mess it up. And out here, you mess up, and you're just gonna lose money.
Right.
So it's just common sense to get everything that you want to learn, personally, what you want to be the best at, but also don't make yourself a one-trick pony. Right. Be the most versatile person you could possibly be, because that's going to bring you even more money in the long run. So,
and it's probably the same as anything out there. Just get really good at the fundamentals. Know the basics. Get as proficient at those as you can, and that's when it opens up those doors of you get the trust of clientele, and then you also have more room to experiment and try new techniques and new
kind of like switch it up every now and then, because I still do women's haircuts, like long hair women haircuts.
Okay.
But I don't do it a lot. Like I don't mind doing them, but I don't want to be that one. I don't want that to be my main thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like having different sceneries every now and then. So I'll do like a blunt cut with some layers every now and then, like 2 or 3, like maybe every couple months.
Right.
But it's nice to go from something else besides just fading all the time, and then you just have a woman come in and she wants like something simple. It's nothing too crazy. I can't really do anything crazy with women's hair, but I mean, I know how to layer and blunt cuts and I mean, it's just all the basic stuff. But I enjoy it. I enjoy having the difference in clientele, which is, I mean, a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy. Every time a girl comes in, they're like, "Man, you crazy?" I'm like, "Bro, it's not that hard. Like, it's really not.
Yeah,
it's not hard at all, and they don't take that long. It's just some women, I guess, women are really picky, but I mean, that's okay. I mean, I like it like that. I like people that are picky. I like
that's a challenge.
It brings the best out of you. Yeah. So I mean, when you consistently bringing the best out of yourself every time, you can be like Jordan. You're gonna be consistent. You'll be considered the GOAT one day. I mean,
yeah.
So. I mean, this is what it is.
Setting the bar, right? Yeah, that's your motto.
You got to set it up. That's something I always take pride in. I always want to give my best, or try to give my best every time.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely helped a lot with everything. I mean, I'm about to get my own place next month.
Congratulations!
So, yeah, I'm about to pay my car off.
There you go.
So, I mean, I'm just definitely getting blessed. This is
leveling up, man.
Yeah. Hopefully in a couple of years, I can't wait to see myself 4 or 5 years from now.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely persuaded and still have the drive to be the best until this day. And I hope the same for y'all. I hope y'all want to be the best and be what people look up to, and say, I want people to say, I want to be like him. I want to lead by example like him. So I think as long as you have that mindset and that drive, you will be successful in this for sure. But I think that's all I have for today, man. I appreciate y'all listening to me. Sorry for the blank moments, but it's my first time being actually by myself. But I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a good day. J-Bye out.